Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks for joining me. As always, thanks for popping in and spending some time with me. I thought today we'd have a look at a really fun design using a stencil. I've been using stencils quite a lot recently. I've got to be honest, I love stencils and I think they're just so versatile, and sometimes we almost forget about different ways of using them. And this is a technique I did years ago. And it was only when I was talking to one of my friends and we were talking about workshops we'd done and the ones we'd enjoyed. And she mentioned it and I thought, oh, I haven't shared this one with you for a while. So do forgive me, those of you that followed me for a while, it is an old technique. But I do think in crafting, we do like to look at older techniques. But it certainly isn't mine. It's been around for a long time, a bit like me, going to say it's been around for a long time. Does that sound bad? Anyway, I'm going to start. I've got a piece of multifarious card, and this is 5.5 inches square. And this is just, it's going to go on a 6x6 card blank. I find this is a lovely size, especially for posting here in the UK. The postage has gone up again, so I am mindful of that. And I'm going to use some Lavinia low tack tape, and I'm going to make myself a panel to start off with. So on my Lavinia mat, I'm just going to use my grid and just add a little bit of tape. So I'll just pop some tape down that side there. And then depends how wide you want your panel. Now, I don't want my panel very, very wide, so I'm actually going to, we'll have that. But I'm going to add another bit of tape here because I am a bit of a tinker and I'm likely, even though I know there's tape there, I'm going to do my panel this way. Obviously, you could have your panel horizontal, but I'm thinking I'm going to have mine going down my card. So again, you can do landscape or portrait, but I'm just deciding on this way. And the stencil I'm going to use today is the Cobbles. And the reason is this one, I know it's called Cobbles, but in my head, I think it looks a bit like a crackle, and that's sort of what I'm going with. You know what my head's like, a very funny place. Now, it might be you want a certain design in this panel. So again, spend your time looking at where you want. It might be you want full, almost cracks here. I want something on the edge, so I want these to overlap. So I'm thinking there. And I'm just going to tape. I know I don't often tape my stencil down, but for this one, I am going to tape it down. And I'm going to just use one colour for this, and I'm going on sort of a brown, a bit of a, almost a vintage feel for this. I'm thinking of a card that could be used for a male friend, and I'm using truffle, and that's in the elements. So I'm going to get my Lavinia stencil brush. And again, we quite often get asked about card designs for men. So it's nice to do a design that is perfect for a man's card or for a couple. Now again, I'm dabbing off on the lid and I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm just going to hold my stencil down and I'm just going to add a little bit of ink gently, gently through the stencil and just work my way up. And then I'm almost going to brush upwards. And I find if I brush upwards, I'm going to get a little bit of shadow at the base. And that works really well with this stencil. So I'm just going to ink up again and again go in the lid. And just to sort of almost frame my stencil, I'll start at the top. So my deeper colour is top and bottom. And then just gradually work my way in. And then again, just brush upwards. And if I want to have a look, I can just lift this up. Oh yes, I like the look of that. And I'm just going to dip in and just do a little bit more of this flicking upwards. Have a look. Yeah, I like that. I don't want to go any darker. So I'll pop the lid on that. Now what I am going to do now is I want to outline with a black fine liner. Now again, we have brown fine liners on the web as well, but this I want to do the black. I want the black to stand out. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can leave the stencil in place and actually trace round the inside of your stencil. But I've got to be honest, for me, and as I say, there are two ways of doing it. That's one. The other one is to actually, and this is where my head may get in the way, and you'll see why I made a smaller panel. You can actually come in and just, now I want a line down this edge, so I'm just going to add my wiggly line down there, and then I'm just going to outline each of these. Now, in my opinion, and again, like noses, we've all got them, it's only my opinion, it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, like I was showing, it may be that you like to do it with the stencil in place. Both ways work just as well. It's whichever you feel more comfortable with. And I've got to be honest, if you're, say, having a bad day and you actually want something just to almost relax you, this is very therapeutic. And obviously, depending which stencil you choose, depends on the amount of detail you've got to go round. And as I say, be mindful of the amount of area that you mask off. I mean, it might be you want to spend quite a while tracing round the shapes, because as I say, it is so lovely and soothing, so therapeutic. Now I'm just going to turn my work round. As you know, I always find it easier if you turn your work and make it easier for you. So again, we'll just whiz along there, and then I'll add a few more here. So I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're having a good week. We've had our King Charles coronation this weekend. Again, fabulous. Talk about pageantry. I mean, you know, absolutely very emotional to watch, I've got to be honest. I don't know if any of you watched it, joined in. We had a lovely street party in our village. And again, so many things. We've had some lovely designs on the website using, obviously, the crown. One clever lady made a stamp design using one of the hair stamps with a crown on. Again, so clever. But it's so lovely. I do think as crafters, we're so lucky in that we can inspire others and get ideas from each other, and we share. It's a very generous community. Oh, there we go. Done. You see what happens when you start talking? Time just goes. Now, I'm just going to wipe this up here. So, if you bear with me, I've got some ink on my mat here. And if I don't wipe it up, I don't want it on the back of my card. Again, trying to be as clean and tidy as I can. So, I'm going to take my low tack tape off. This is Lavinia, and it will peel off, look, as a dream. But if it didn't, the best thing you can do is get your heat tool, just give it a bit of a heat and watch, it will peel off. What the heat tool does is it just starts to melt that glue on the back a little, and it peels off beautifully. But look at that, I've got to be honest, I just think it's so lovely. Now, I'm going to put the stamp I'm going to put on top, and I'm going to add decoupage stamp here, and it's the Tock stamp. Oh, look at that. Oh. You see, really I should have a clean piece. There we go. You didn't see that, did you? How many of you, are you like me? Do you keep... I don't like throwing even my copy paper away. Do you know what? Is that sad? Probably. Right, I'm going to come in with my black VersaFine Clair. Again, I could use brown, but because I've edged in black, I thought I'd stamp in black as well. So, and again, on a spare piece of card, are you like me? Do you save every little bit? But do you use them? This is the thing. So I'm trying to use up all these spare bits. Oh, and look, that's not quite. So it's double-sided. Let's turn it over. Right, that's me talking. Let's try again. Right, make sure it stamps beautifully this time. There we go. And we're sticking it down so nobody will see the back, will they? Now I'm just going to give that a bit of a blot. And then I'm going to add some colour, but I want to quickly add colour. And I'm going to use the same ink, the truffle, and one of my little, the number 3 Lavinia brush. And again, I'm just going to mix some on the lid. And then just gently, gently. And I'm actually going to go around the whole, I'm going to cut this out. So this is a bit of a, you know I like doing this, a bit of a cheats way of adding colour. And because, again, I'm taking that blended and I'm just gently, gently. So when I get to that stage, I can add a little bit more colour if I want. So I just want to go a little bit deeper, say in the centre here, just for a bit of contrast. And then I'll just come in on this edge and we'll just add a little bit deeper. So pick some ink up from the lid. And that's all I'm going to do on there. But I want to add, I like this, almost this crackle theme. And we've got the Texture 4 stamp. And for me, I'm thinking this is a bit like a crackle. So I'm actually going to use Pine Cone in the VersaFine Clair. So this is the permanent ink. And I almost just want to get that sort of crackle. Now, I did a YouTube the other day and we had the crazing paste on, and a lovely lady messaged me and said, because I wasn't sure what the word crazing meant, I wasn't sure if it was an American word, but it actually means that almost the crackle that you get under the surface in pottery. And I thought, oh, I mean, obviously I've seen pottery, old pottery that has that sort of, and I didn't know it was called crazing. So it gave me an idea that I thought this might look, when it's stamped, look as though it's almost that sort of that crackle, that crazing on my watch, on my fob watch. So that's my idea. Now I'd be glad to know I have got one cut out, look. I've cut this one out and all I've added is a little bit of my gold Signo gel pen. But you don't want to see me cut out, so I've got one cut out ready. And what I'm thinking is, so this is my design and I don't want to add too much, I don't want to overfuss it. So I've got my lovely fob watch here. And then all I'm going to add is a sentiment. And I'm going to get my sentiment stickers here. And you know what? Right, like clockwork or pocket watch. I think pocket watch actually. So I'm just going to take that off. And I'll just pop it on the end of my stencil brush. Because I'm thinking of having this here and the pocket watch just over it. As I say, I don't want to overcomplicate it. Oh, actually, a bit further down, I think. I don't like it in the middle. Yes, down there. So I'll add the sentiment first. And let's just try and make sure we get that straight. And then I'll just get my black fine liner, again, just to keep it matching. Now this, I've gone obviously like a bit of a crackle, but I'm thinking animal skin. It could look like an animal skin, so depending what colour. Maybe oranges look a bit like a giraffe. So if you had a children's card to do, or one with an animal. And that's what I love about stencils, depending how you take it, depends how. And I'm thinking if I just add the lovely pocket watch now again, I could pop it, yeah, there, I think. Now we've got some little cogs on here, and I'm wondering just about a little cog there just behind. So I think I'm just going to take this sticker, and actually what I'm going to do is if I want to cut that off so it looks like it's just behind there. Pop that there. That little bit stuck to my finger now. Lovely. So I'm just going to get some of my 3D glue. Oh dear, the lady who remains nameless has just made a noise. And I can't say her name because if you've got one of those devices, she may start talking to mine. So just with our 3D, our silicone glue, I'm just going to pop a little bit on there. And I'm just going to put this there. I'll just wipe my little, and again, I just use a little, this is just a pokey tool for anybody who wants to know. It's just a pokey tool, and it's just the way I find it easier putting, when I use things like 3D glue gel, I just find using a pokey tool is easier. Give it a quick wipe. And then what I'm thinking is that definitely needs some Posca splats. So, and it's what colour, but I think I'll go for white. And I'm just going to add a few. We're going with that sort of arty, grungy, vintage feel. And some white. And we'll just do that in the diagonal. Just see if I can, oh, get one on there. Yeah, don't want to overcook it. Yeah. And if I can just wipe under here. So that's my design. And again, as I say, for a gentleman's card, I think that's lovely and it would fit lots of occasions. I mean, if this was for a birthday, we have the lovely number stamps. You could pop the number on, couldn't you, of the birthday? Now, I have made a couple of other designs just to show you. We've just got a couple of minutes that I can show you with different stencils. So this one is using, and I forget this, ornate. Sorry, the ornate stencil. And I've used green sleeves. If I bring that in to show us, that's using green sleeves ink, the topper stamp, and one from the bird collection. And again, I think that's a lovely design. It would make a party invitation, a nice generic birthday card, as I said, New Year. I mean, lots of things you could use that for. And then if I pop that to the side, I have one more. And this one's using the Replenish stencil, the small heart, the mini butterfly stamp, and the blue atoll ink. And this one, obviously, I've taken the border across my little panel. And I'm thinking this will be lovely for weddings, anniversaries, or even just love story, just to tell somebody you love them. Now, the sticker stencil, I did add some blue ink because it was quite green, my sentiment sticker, and it has given it quite a bluey tone. So I used the blue atoll ink, and I was pleased with the way that just toned in. So I'll bring all three in to show you. And it's just one design and an idea, but a couple of different ways of creating cards or designs with it. Are we going to get all three on, do you think? Should we do a bit of jiggery pokery? We've sort of got most of them on, haven't we? So like I say, whether you're thinking an anniversary card, whether you're thinking a card for a lady, and all the different stencils we've got. Think of all the different panels you could do. But I do love that black. And there are a few of you who've messaged me recently and said you're having a hard time. And I won't mention you by name. And I have to say, for my lovely crafters in Anglesey, we have lost one of our lovely ladies, passed away last week. So, you know, I know there are a lot of us who are struggling at the minute. And something like this, I did find just drawing round the stencil area. I mean, you can even add a little bit more colour with your pencils if you wanted to add a bit more detail. Something like that, just colouring in, just using your black fine liner. Honestly, it really does calm the mind. So if you need something like that, this technique is perfect. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'd love to see what you come up with. You are such a clever bunch. I'm sure you'll just run with this, and I love it when you share ideas. So please, let me know what you think. Thanks for popping in. See you again next week. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.